Hello and welcome everybody to my channel. My name is Casuality and I'm maybe not a veteran of the first hour, but still a somewhat experienced EVE online player being active in the game since 2015. I have already made more than 220 videos about EVE, but if you're watching this video, you may not be able to make use of those others as they were not recorded in English. But after all these videos, I still enjoy the game so much that I decided I want to present my experiences to a broader audience, and therefore I'm now updating and re-recording some of my existing content, but in a new format. As you have seen in my intro, I take a rather casual approach to gaming generally, not only in EVE, and that's not entirely voluntarily, but yeah, being in my mid-40s with wife, children and a demanding job, I can usually not spend more than 3 to 5 hours per week on gaming. And while this certainly prevents me from becoming a true pro in many areas, it does not prevent me from enjoying games, even ones as time-consuming as EVE. It certainly had significant influence on the way I approach, experience and now for a while also present games, and many of the information you will find in my videos must be seen in this context. So please keep in mind that my view of EVE may substantially differ from the view of a hardcore gamer spending 10 hours per day online every day or 24/7. And especially in a game like EVE, the difference between a hardcore and a casual player is quite staggering. EVE has been called by many names, with Excel in space being one of the more ironic and best known outside the EVE community, but easy to learn, intuitive or self-explanatory surely are not among them, even though CCP, the developer of the game, has improved the new player experience in starting tutorials at least twice, I think, during the time I have played EVE. I think generally it's a good approach to complex situations, be it in real life or in a game, is to break the complex thing down into smaller portions which are easier to digest. And exactly that is the idea and approach of my new format, which is also quite different from my rather lengthy other videos. 10 minutes of EVE. So in episodes of roughly 10 minutes, I want to explain the ins and outs of EVE, at least in those areas I know pretty well and feel comfortable in. In doing so, I will start with the most basic content and slowly progress to the more complex ones, and some of those will surely require more than one episode to cover, as you can maybe imagine. And as a consequence, many, at least of the early episodes, will be useful more to beginners or people who have yet to decide whether they want to try the game. But nevertheless, if there's a veteran or a pro out there watching my videos, please leave comments, feedbacks, correct my mistakes. We can all learn from that. Of course, I would also appreciate a subscription and a like as a sign of your appreciation. But even if you want to give me a thumbs down, please take the time to comment on what you didn't like so that I maybe can improve. Okay, with that being said and out of the way, let's get down to business. I assume that everyone watching this video already has a free-to-play alpha account or knows how to create one. What maybe not everybody may know is that you can start a new alpha account with a bonus of 1 million freely distributable skill points. To do that, you need to create your account by clicking on a special promotion link, which I think every EVE player, or at least every Omega status EVE player, may create and share. So if you have friends playing EVE, ask them about such a promo link, and if not, You can, of course, use the link I provide in the video description below, which I would be quite happy about, because you will receive the bonus points and I will get some recognition as well if you upgrade to Omega status in the future, which is quite a significant step in your EVE career and will be the main topic of this first episode, or rather the difference between the free-to-play alpha and the not free-to-play Omega status or Omega clone status. Why is that the first topic? Because your status as being alpha or Omega will influence skills you can unlock, the way you can accumulate skill points, and can quite significantly influence your gaming experience and your motivation to play the game. Skill points. Skill points, in my opinion, are one of the most important indicators of players' progress in EVE, with assets, money, and achievements being others, because EVE doesn't have a classical leveling system like World of Warcraft, where your character's progress is indicated by a number. Skills are trained passively, so just by letting time pass for the most of the time, but only if you queue them up in your training queue. As you can see, the training queue of my character is currently empty. Without special and costly measures, you can only train one of the maximum of 3 characters you can have per account at any given time, and the other 2 characters will stay with the points they have accumulated before that. You can buy multiple training to change that, and you can regularly acquire freely distributable skill points in the game through events, which you can spend in addition to the passive training. So for example, you can see I have roughly 240,000 unallocated skill points, which I could allocate to any skill I can still train. There are quite a few categories of skills, and each of them contains quite a substantial number of skill points, several hundreds in total, and only a few of them are unlocked for a newly created character, which I cannot show now because I do not have a newly created character now. All my character slots are full with characters who are not new and therefore do not show the beginning status anymore. All characters start with the same assets, a small amount of ISK, that's the in-game currency, a beginner ship, and roughly the same skill set, but their potential for development differs immensely depending on their status as Alpha or Omega. As an Alpha character, you cannot unlock and train all skills or even attain the maximum level of 5 in all skills. This is an Alpha character, and you can see all those skills with yellow dots are blocked for me. They require Omega status, and so I cannot acquire those skills at all. And in some skills I can only achieve skill level 3, sometimes skill level 4, and on others quite basic skills I can achieve skill level 5. For example, drones. On top of that, you can freely accumulate skill points, so simply by waiting and training, only up to a cap which is just below 5 million skill points. And this is why my training queue is empty, because I cannot add any skills anymore. I could add them, but I cannot start training as I have already reached that cap, and I can progress now as an alpha only by spending those free skill points or buying skill injectors in game. And this fact in turn will prevent you from using all the ships, modules, or even ammunition existing in the game, because every piece of equipment existing in EVE has skill requirements. And while some of those skills only improve your efficiency of use of a module or ship, some skills completely bar your access to advanced equipment, if you can bring them up to the required level. As an Omega character, on the other hand, you can learn every skill in the game and therefore use any piece of equipment, and you are limited only by the amount of money required to unlock the skills and the time required to train them up, as far as you need them or want them. But this can be quite a substantial investment, both in time and in-game money. So for example, skills like Capital Ship require 450 million ISK just to buy the skills, and then you have not trained it, and some skills take a month to bring up to level 5. As a result, your enjoyment of the game can be severely limited by the alpha status, even though you can make good use of alphas as supporting characters. But mainly only if you have at least one Omega account. So I have one Omega account and 2 Alpha accounts with 9 characters in total, and that works out quite well. On the upside, playing as an Alpha is completely free, and you can theoretically create as many Alpha accounts as you want, and therefore it's a perfect way to get a first feeling for the game, and after some time make an informed decision whether you want to upgrade to Omega later on. And of course, that's exactly what Alpha characters are for, which is why they were created some years ago. In my opinion, they serve this purpose well, and you will be able to experience the career options EVE has to offer up to a certain degree, where you can decide whether they are fun or not. And these career options will be the subject of the next episode. Omega accounts, on the other hand, also require an investment, either in real world money or in ISK, which you can use to buy a Plex, a pilot's license extension. You need 500 of those Plex to buy 1 month of Omega time, giving you access to the Omega status. And right now, this 500 ISK would be roughly 1.3 to 1.4 billion ISK, which is an amount new player will be able to earn without substantial effort, meaning online time, grinding, and this can reduce the fun of playing the game, making it feel more like work. And even I, who have spent some years in EVE and could earn the money required to buy my Plex for the Omega account through in-game activities, I still prefer to pay real-world money to avoid the pressure of having to do this. But this is a personal preference, and also due to my casual approach and limited online time. Okay, this should serve as a first introduction to myself, to this format and its approach to EVE, and I already managed to extend it 3 minutes beyond the 10 minutes mark. And next time, as already mentioned, I will shed some first light on the career paths available to every player. So if you enjoyed this video, I would be happy to see you again next time.